How's it going, Magpies? Magpie Leon here. Today's video is going to be a bit more of a rant, as 343 recently announced that Halo Infinite won't launch with Forge or co-op campaign. Now, I'm going to be focusing more on the co-op campaign today rather than the Forge side of things, but I might cover my disappointment in the lack of Forge later on down the line. But today we're going to be talking about my disappointment with the lack of co-op campaign and how it doesn't necessarily affect me personally, but it still really disappoints me as it affects a lot of people I know, and it's a real shame for the community in general. So for those of you unaware, 343 recently announced in like a dev update that Halo Infinite will not launch with co-op or Forge. I mean, you probably are aware of it at this point. It's literally been everywhere, as it's got a lot of people disappointed, and rightfully so. One thing I will admit that I do find really strange is the fact that they've come and announced this now, whereas there's still a few months until launch. I feel like they've probably got more than enough time to implement at least co-op. Like, it just seems a bit odd, I'll be honest, that it's not there. They've still got a few months to launch. And in my honest opinion, I'd be okay if campaign got delayed and they released the multiplayer first and then released the campaign later on down the line with co-op, since at the end of the day, you've got to pay for the campaign. The campaign is the paid side of the game. The rest of it's free. But the campaign you've got to pay for, so that should release as a full package, because you have to pay for it, so it seems really unfair that that isn't releasing as a full package. But the reason I think this is really disappointing, so as I've mentioned in the past, my parents both play Halo. They have since Combat Evolved launched. They've been playing it literally since day one, and they've played every single Halo game co-op. They played it together, and with Halo Infinite, when it launches, that isn't going to be the case. So they've got to wait 3 months, because co-op's supposedly launching the second season. They've got to wait 3 months to be able to play Halo Infinite together, which means neither of them are planning on touching the campaign until they can play it together. So I can't even talk to my parents about Halo's campaign because I've got to wait for them to be able to play it, which really sucks. Another one, like one of my mates at work, he said that he's got to wait the 3 months because every time he plays Halo, he plays it through the campaign with his mates on Legendary, and he's got to wait for the 3 months now to be able to play that game with his mates. I know a lot of other content creators have all said they were really looking forward to exploring Halo Infinite's world with their friends, and now they won't be able to do that because the co-op's been delayed for 3 months. Like, yes, it is coming at some point, but after Halo 5, you'd think they'd make sure it's there at launch. Now, I understand it's not the developers' faults themselves. As someone that studies game design, I understand these things can be tough, and it's more than likely a lack of communication from upper management. So, I do understand stuff like that. I understand that it's not the devs' fault themselves, and it's probably more so on the side of the upper management. But at the same time, I do feel like there is probably enough time to be able to implement the co-op campaign and get it working before launch. They could probably dedicate a team. I mean, they probably do have a team dedicated to just that. So, I mean, I guess I'm being a little optimistic, but I do hope it is something that after a bit of fan backlash, they will be able to crack down and get it done for launch. Even if it doesn't work at 100% capacity, I'd still love it to be there. Like, I don't know, I think it'd be even funnier if it was a broken mess at launch. Well, just the co-op, not the game itself, but it is something that I'd like to be there. Of course, I don't mean that. I wouldn't want it to be broken when it launches. I'm just trying to be optimistic, and I do hope co-op is there at launch, even if they've said that it more than likely won't be. And although myself personally, I plan to play through Infinite on my own through my first playthrough, I'm probably going to stream it. I'm going to sit there and play through the whole thing. But after I completed it, I was planning on going through it with my friends who, some of which are quite new to Halo and haven't really had the chance to experience a Halo campaign properly. I was looking forward to going through it straight after with them and being able to mess around on it. I mean, let's be honest, it's not going to take me 3 months to beat Infinite's campaign, so I've got to wait 3 months to be able to go through it with my friends, which really sucks. And yeah, I can play the multiplayer with them and stuff, but I should be able to play the campaign with them co-op on the game's launch too. That's something that's been in every Halo game, being able to play campaign co-op. That's one of the things that made Halo so special to a lot of people, that they were able to play through it with their friends. I know this is something that 343 understands. I know they care about this franchise. I know they do. They've said it several times, and they're obviously not lying about it. Just look at how some of them reacted to how positive the feedback was for the flight. It is clear that they care about this franchise. I know they do. And I don't blame the developers themselves. I do think it is more than likely, you know, the game has had its fair share of problems. Different game directors and stuff have come and gone. So yeah, it's bound to have issues, but this is something that, issues or not, I feel should be there, and I am hugely disappointed about. I really do have faith in 343. I am still ridiculously excited for this game, of course I am. And personally, although I wouldn't mind the campaign being delayed, as much as I really want to get my hands on the campaign for this game and play through it, I wouldn't mind it being delayed and just play the multiplayer for the first couple of months, if it meant that co-op was there on launch. I know it's not necessarily guaranteed. I think Microsoft are really trying the best to get this game out for that Christmas market, but I do hope it's there on launch. If it's not, obviously it's probably not going to change my opinion on the game. I'm probably still going to really enjoy it no matter what. But I know a lot of people, including myself, are really disappointed about the lack of co-op, as well as Forge, and it is a huge disappointment. Now, I will say, don't go attacking the devs or anything like that. That gets us nowhere. Give criticism, give constructive criticism, but don't go and attack and harass people just because you're angry or upset about stuff like this. It doesn't get anyone anywhere. If you're going to give criticism, be constructive. And as I've said, as disappointed as I am still really excited for this game. It's probably not going to change my perspective on the game as a whole, but this will be something that I think everyone remembers. It does seem like they're repeating the same mistakes that they made with Halo 5. And again, I know it's not necessarily the devs' faults. It just sucks. That's all I can say about it. 343 have still done a lot of good for the franchise, but they've also done the fair share of bad things. I'm not trying to defend them by making this video. As I've said, I am hugely disappointed. But don't let that change your perspective on the game as a whole. Still play it and still be excited for it. Just remember this and try to give constructive criticism, give good feedback that can help them improve on the game. That's all I can say, really. I am mad about it. I'm very disappointed, and I hope that part of me really hopes that they can get this sorted by launch and that the game will have more than enough content. But only time will tell. Anyway, folks, that's all from me today. Sorry this video has been more of a rant, sad boy video, but I'll catch you all in the next one.